Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power, cowabunga. Welcome, this is Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC. It is August of 2023, and I am back with my friend and co-host Avi, and today we're going to be talking about the infamous, atrocious, terrible Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 from 1993. We're only going to be talking about the 3 early 90s movies, not anything from the 21st century. Turtles 3 was so bad. It's the Batman and Robin 1997, in my opinion, of the early Turtles movies. Batman and Robin 97. So bad so that the next Turtles movie wouldn't be another 14 years till 2007 for the next one. With all that said, we're going to go dive deep now into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, 1993. Welcome back, Avi. What are your initial opening thoughts for Turtles 3 from 93?
Well, even least likely to watch, but even though it's too bad that it wasn't involved with Shredder anymore.
I think it would have been too repetitive and redundant if they brought Shredder back for
What if they could be involved about time traveling, about the ancestor, about who started the Foot Clan, about the what?
Well, I was going to say, for both those comments about Shredder and the Foot Clan, I think the Shredder and the Foot Clan were both big parts of the first two movies, Turtles 1 and Turtles 2, so I thought it would have been too repetitive and redundant if they brought Shredder and the Foot Clan back for a third time. I think that for the third movie, with Shredder and the Foot Clan being done, instead of doing this whole Japanese ancient time travel stuff going on, they should have brought Krang from the 80s TV show in the comics. They should have brought Krang as the main villain for the third movie.
Even it's based, Ninja Turtles originally based on a comic book story.
Yes, it's based off the 1984 comic book, right? The 1984 comic book was very adult-like. Then the 87 TV show was for kids, and then Turtles 1 was a combination of both the 84 comic book and the 87 children's show. But yeah, as far as villains are concerned, it would have been too much to bring Shredder, in my opinion, Shredder and the Foot Clan back for a third movie. But instead of that whole Japan ancient time travel stuff, I think they should have brought Krang in as the villain. What do you think? Who do you think should have been the villain for the third movie? Hold on a sec, you're breaking up a bit. Who do you think should have been the villain for the third movie?
Like the Rat King.
Oh, okay, that would have worked too. The rat type king thing. Okay, yeah. And I just want to let people know that the original title of this third movie is just only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. It is not actually subtitled. It is not subtitled Turtles in Time. That was just like a 91 or 92 video game. Yeah, the only movie in the early 90s of them all that got a subtitle was the second one. The third one is just called Turtles 3 without any subtitle to go after it. I enjoyed playing the Turtles video games. I grew up Ninja Turtles, so late 80s, early 90s, I was all about these. But even back when I saw Turtles 3 in 93 theatrically, March 1993, I knew it was nonsense. It was just trash garbage. Similar to Batman and Robin 97. It was like they never reached the level of awesomeness and incredibleness that was Turtles 1 1990, in my opinion. And it's interesting because as we're recording and filming these to talk about, it just happens to be also when the next Turtles movie comes out in August of 2023 by Seth Rogen. I don't personally like that guy, not anymore anyway. But I think.
What about him and the Fablemans?
I never saw Fableman, so I can't say. But I'm glad you like the Fablemans since you saw the Fablemans.
It's Spielberg movie. It's Spielberg movie.
Who did he play in that movie?
Supposed to be the worker mate, who's a friend to the father about this.
Okay, got it. Just a friend to the father. Yeah.
He's like an uncle type person.
Yeah, friend to the father's all right. Like I liked it. I thought he was all right in the 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up. But then after that, after I find about.
And Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that he's also in the 2010s with Steve Jobs. But like once I just like find out about more how he was like about personally and personal stuff, I'm like I don't like him anymore. So I thought if they're gonna bring these turtle movies back, what they have to do or what they should do is what they haven't done, which is have it back to be very similar to Turtles 1990. No ever Turtles movie that came after Turtles 1990 has been as great and really neat as that first one from 90, at least in my opinion.
But in 2009, there's a cartoon TV special called Turtles Forever. It's like the year like a multiverse storyline about how the 1987 cartoon version could be a crossover with the 2003 version.
I knew there was a 2003 version that came out, but what is all this stuff about 2009?
In 2000, there's a TV special, a cartoon special.
In 09, in 2009?
Like a multiverse story.
In 2009.
Yeah, there's a multiverse.
Okay, well let me tell you my thoughts on that real quick. I mean, when you say the word multiverse, I think all these Marvel, in my personal opinion, I think all these Marvel and DC multiverse stuff are overdone, and I think people are getting tired of the whole multiverse stuff being done. So that's what I mean by like them not having an original idea. Like I'm tired of like these animated turtle movies. I want the puppets back. I want the puppets, the suits, the live action, and make it. You'll never get it as good as the first movie, but as close to the first movie as possible. At least that's my opinion about it all. But Turtles 3, 1993. What did you think of the movie itself with this whole time travel, Japan stuff going on and everything?
Well, I found out it's actually, I read something on trivia, it was actually based on from a storyline about that loosely based.
Right, there was an actual storyline about it, yes.
This movie is loosely based on a story called Masked, from issue number 46 and 47 of the original Mirage comics. The story features the Turtles and Renette traveling back to feudal Japan to fight the evil shogun and engage in samurai battles.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that part of how it is. So it is kind of like based off a story from the comics in a way, yeah.
Yeah, because that way the first movie is very faithful to original comics.
Yes, I really like the first movie. No, that's my favorite. I everything after the first one was like, but we're gonna get everybody. Sure. No, go ahead. Sorry.
And the origin about the time scepter is not made into the movie. It's actually it is original from comic book. The original comics, the time scepter is normally associated with Renee, the time-stress apprentice of Lord Simultaneous. She often encounters Savante Romero. None of these characters appear in this film because they didn't use anything like a character from the comics into the feature film.
Which part of this again? Say it again.
About the original, the origin about the time scepter is normally associated with Renette, the time stress apprentice of Lord Simultaneous.
Oh, okay, that's detailed.
What's the origin? What's the origin about the time scepter? Where it's first made? About like from the time from another world.
Right. Well, yeah, the scepter was something interesting kind of about this movie. What I want to say next is two things. One, I like that Donatello's voice back from the original is brought back. I did not care for. Yes, I'm gonna get to his name. Yeah, I didn't care for Donatello's voice in the second movie. They used some other guy's voice for the voice of Donatello in the second movie, but I like they brought back Corey Feldman's voice back from the third movie. That's the first thing I want to say about.
Because why did they bring back in the second movie? Because he had problem with drugs.
Right, it had to be a drug issue. Yes. So I like that his voice of Donatello was brought back from the third movie because of that whole drug issue during the second one. The other thing I want to mention is, even though that I like that they finally brought back Casey Jones in the third movie after having him noticeably absent in the second one. However, I thought his whole being a separate character in the Japanese timeline was kind of like not great.
Is that like an ancestor? You didn't know that Casey Jones' ancestor.
Yeah, I didn't care for him being in the whole ancestry thing, and also I didn't like that he was just babysitting the Japanese samurai guys.
Honor guards.
Yeah, but even though I didn't like him babysitting the honor guards, I do, however, like that song that they introduced to us in the bar.
Tarzan bar.
Yes, the Tarzan movie. I love that song. Do 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 do. The Tarzan song. I love it. I love it. It's actually a mid '80s. It's actually a mid '80s song. It's like from '85, the year I was born. The song is from like '85, but they used it in that '93 movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something like hopefully like something they want to bring back the '80s type. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they brought that Tarzan '85 song into the third movie, and then they also had the music. What was it? What was it called? That band with the Z title? Not Z, but what was the name of the band with the latter letters? I think it was the not the Zombies, but the what was the other Z band name that they played that other song in the third movie as well? ZZ Top was it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played that ZZ. Yeah, what's it called? Say it again.
Can't Stop Rockin'.
Oh yeah, Can't Stop Rockin', ZZ Top song. That also. It was like, okay, I like those two songs in the movie, but like outside of those two songs and maybe a little bit of the Scepter, I thought it was like they should have just finally brought Krang in because like Krang would have been a neat.
What about alien invasion type like Triceratops? Triceratops alien type.
That's another idea. That could work. That could have worked as well. Yeah. That could have worked as well with what you just said there. But yeah, like again, like this movie was like, it was the time of this movie was where I was starting to not turn into a little bit older. I wasn't as into the Turtles I was as in the previous years. Like by this time, I played Turtles 2 and Turtles 3 on the Nintendo Entertainment 8-bit console system. But if anybody knew the NCIS console growing up, the Turtles 1 movie is way harder than that second and third movie. Did you ever play the Turtles 1 NES game? It's really difficult, really tough.
I remember at my dentist at Dr. Solo's office about in the waiting room, they used to have an arcade game, 1987, video arcade.
The arcade game was based on the second movie. That was fine, that arcade...
No, not a second movie, it's actually based on the cartoon show.
I mean, rather a cartoon show, but do you ever remember playing the original first Turtles game from NES? No. If you ever.
I play Game Boy.
Game Boy stuff. Game Boy. Well, if you ever look up about the original, if you have the Game Boy game, so if you ever look back and do research later on Turtles 1 video game, it's the one where they had that water level and stuff, and I could never even get to far levels of the game. It was like really tough game they made for people. But then thankfully Turtles 2 and 3 were more fun to play. And so Turtles 2, Turtles 3, this was around 1991, 1992. By the time I got to the third movie and I was in the theatrical experience watching them do that stuff with the ears, the guy in the Japan, and they do the ear thing with the turtles, and I'm like, what the hell, what is this nonsense? So it's like, and then it was so bad that they had no more live action turtle movies for the rest of the 90s. The next one wouldn't be till 14 years later with TMNT of 2007.
Yeah. Because even though that the 2007 is actually a follow-up of that, because even among the Splinter's collection, there's one of them is the Time Scepter.
Right, exactly. So the Scepter's about this. So when they use the Scepter in both the beginning and the end of the movie, and while they're in Japan, they have to remake a new Scepter because they thought they lost the other one. The whole Scepter is where it transports people from both time zones, and you only have to be wearing a certain amount of thing to get through with the Scepter to go in and out of it.
This isn't like Back to the Future type because you only drive if you have a vehicle.
Yeah, similar.
You wear the same clothing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I really.
This one is not made by Jim Henson. This third movie is not made by Jim Henson. It's starring this film is by All Effects Company. Took over and worked on the animatronic effects for the Turtles and the Splinter costumes.
Well,
Jim Henson Creature Shop was the company who worked on the mutant creatures in previous two movies.
What was it? What was the name of the company for that again?
All Effects Company.
Oh, that was the name of it. Yeah, you could tell from their company that it looked way different, well downgraded from the Jim Henson stuff. So the whole costume design off of the Jim Henson stuff was way off, really bad, and it was just like, it was like so disappointing. So this is for a lot of people before the ones from the 21st century. This third Turtles movie is not very good memories. But what did you think of this movie overall?
Well, how did the Japanese speak mainly English? Or were they supposed to spoke real Japanese?
Well, that's actually That's actually a goof I see in other movies as well, because if they're German or Russian or whatever it is, it's like, wait, they're talking English? They should be talking their own language. So it's like, I think I noticed in all these movies where they're talking English instead of their own language. So that's a good observation there.
Yeah, and also, do you know the main villain, the English guy, about Stuart Wilson? He plays another villain in the movie The Mask of Zorro.
You mentioned before on other podcasts that he was also in The Mask of Zorro. I remember you saying that. The Mask of Zorro guy. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, as far as villains, that white British guy or whatever he is, he was kind of boring and dull as a villain. Like, it was just so.
And he was also a villain in Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh, he was actually a villain also in Lethal Weapon 3?
Lethal Weapon, yeah.
Okay, well listen, I enjoyed the Lethal Weapon movies, but I haven't studied them enough or watched them enough to really understand everything about them. But even though we'll never be doing Lethal Weapon, I'm still open for What Women Want, The Patriot, and The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah. But what about like you saw Braveheart or the?
I saw parts of Braveheart, but not enough to really know about it. The only three.
Or Hacksaw Ridge.
I've seen parts of Hacksaw Ridge on the TV. That was pretty neat because it was Andrew Garfield trying to protect the other soldiers.
Yeah.
We could do. What's that? Say again?
Doesn't carry weapons because.
Oh yeah, and no carrying of weapons. But we could do Patriot. We could do the Patriot, What Women Want, and Passion. Those three I know. Turtles 3. You're right about the costumes. We mentioned about the music. We mentioned about that white, boring British villain guy. They seem to be using their weapons more in this one than they did in the second movie.
Well, even though sometimes like the weapons, something like even though like. The animatronic heads of Michelangelo and Leonardo from this movie are now in the hands of an obsessed turtle fan named Michael Ivy. She bought them for $3,800 US.
What did she do? What did she do again?
The animatronic heads of Michelangelo.
Oh, okay. The head. Oh, she bought. Did she buy the animatronic heads?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I heard that trivia story before. Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I just want to let everybody know. This is the last of 3 podcasts before my trip. I'm going away in 2 weeks, and so we're doing these 3 turtle movies, 3, 2, and 1. And just so you guys know, as far as release schedule is looking like, we're looking to do Turtles 1, 1990 on what's the date? What day is next Thursday of next week?
Next week.
Yeah.
Today's the 8th. What's the
yeah, third next.
About that. And the next Thursday is 17th.
Okay, so everybody, we're gonna finish off with the turtle discussions on Thursday the 17th with the first movie, and this week's all about getting the third and second one completed. So with that said, back to Turtles 3. So yeah, so you're right. So what else did you want to say about the whole the scepter?
The scepter. You know how Turtles read the inscription about the scepter open wide the gates of time, and even how the Downtown knows about like to know when's the exact when the scepter was for a schedule to bring it back in time.
Right. That's supposed to be with back in the time travel thing again. One thing that got me is towards the end, when they're starting to get into the conflict, the third act, how they always talk about the one part where Leonardo takes his swords and he cuts off the hair of the Japanese guy. That part right there, and also where they're in together, the 4 of them, and they're inside that room, and one of them is like. The comment about the Addams Family. There's the Addams Family comment. I'm like, okay. But then I thought it was like, I thought that the main white guy, British villain's death was like too similar to how Shredder was taken out in the first movie. It's just that once the catapulted thing happened, that white guy just kind of like, just fell down Die Hard Turtles 1 style into the water like that from the whole thing. And then like we already said how we have Casey Jones in his like, ancestry for him there too. And I also thought, let's bring up Splinter for a sec. I thought that Splinter in this movie would look very silly. Nothing ever surpassed Splinter of the Turtles 1990 movie. Like Splinter in this movie, what is this? It's similar to the turtle suits. It's like these are the turtles.
It's like very senile.
Yeah, very much so. The Turtles and Splinter look really awful in this movie.
Yeah, and also Michelangelo. They show development about Michelangelo about if instead of being a funny guy, he's like very serious.
Oh, he was serious because he was like, I want to stay. I feel like I belong here. Michelangelo was like, I want to stay in this time. And then he also was crushing on that Japanese girl.
Mitsu.
Yeah, Mitsu. Yes. I just mean.
On only 3 films, original films, only 2 actors who voice Leonardo and Michelangelo only voices themselves in the first 3.
Yeah, that's very much big trivia about the movies. Yes, the trivia wise, that's very true. What you just said there.
And also, there's Mitsu's little brother Yoshi. He shares his name with Hamato Yoshi, who was Splinter's late master. It's unknown if they're related or something.
That's true. The true question about the related stuff. And then that Yoshi kid, he was having a good connection with, I think, Raphael. Yeah.
It's just like a whole concept, like it'd be like the Magnificent Seven about the heroes and defending the village about type of, and wanted to develop as a father figure.
Yeah, that's true.
You ever see the Samurai or the Magnificent Seven?
Say it again.
You ever see that classic Japanese film from the 50s called The Seven Samurai?
I've never saw either one of those. I saw like a scene or two of the remake, but never the original classics. No.
Because Akira Kurosawa, he's the main known for the classic samurai films in the 50s. But one of them becomes an influence to Star Wars called The Hidden Fortress.
Right, that's the hidden. Yeah, that was a reference to Star Wars: The Hidden Fortress. There. Well, we're looking for more stuff to talk about the Turtles. Could you please now at this point go over some quotes from the movie? Turtles 3 quotes.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
But that even I thought for a Turtles movie, it's like something like it's before like the Power Rangers TV series. Like
yeah, it kind of felt too similar to the Power Rangers. It was like, no, I want a Turtles movie. I don't want a Turtles movie that's too similar to Power Rangers, even though they were kind of similar things around the same time. I didn't really grow up with Power Rangers. Like, it was playing at the time on the TV show or whatever. I actually just grew up with the Ninja Turtles, not the Power Rangers.
Casey Jones. Casey Jones says, "Bet you guys feel lucky to be going back, right?" Ben K says, "We're lucky. We're going back." Nod to the. So I said, "This is really good. This is really going to screw up history." Yeah.
That was a good line of delivery for that quote right there. Yes.
Because even though it's very hard about how the honor guards got himself in cultures about from the feudal Japan, it's modern times.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me, when you talk about the honor guard and the samurai again, it reminded me of how the movie starts. It's a very interesting way to start the movie, because they start it with the whole Japanese horse samurai stuff going on.
Sunrise.
Yeah, with the sunrise and them on the horses out in the Japany thing, them going like that, fighting off each other and stuff in that opening scene. And then after that, I'm like, wait, are we watching? Did we walk into the wrong movie? Because it was showing all the Japanese samurai horse stuff going on. And then after that little part was done, then they start to edge back to the layer that they chose in the Turtles 2 movie, that same home, and then you just see after the Japanese stuff being an interesting way to open, then they're like just having all the turtles just dance. The turtles dance to the music there, to the ZZ Top or something, and then you got Raphael taking his weapon and Raphael having his anger again, and that's then where it leads to the April from the second movie coming back, giving them all gifts, and the samurai, and then the time scepter being used to get her back in time. That starts the story. But like, where's Krang? Use Krang instead of these bad, boring villains of the third movie. But yeah, any more quotes outside of the Casey Jones one?
The Michelangelo recovery. My legs hurts. My arms hurts. My spots hurts. Even my bandana hurts.
Bandana. Nice.
And Raphael says, "You hear what do you call me, Leo? An ugly lump of dog."
Oh, yeah. I remember that line.
It was insult, Leo. Not necessary, Ralph. You know that in some countries dung is used as a fuel source.
Yeah. I like. Yeah, I like for the Donatello movie, not just his voice, but how in the one scene he was like using all this technology and thought to try to do something tech-wise for everybody.
Because that's what the character is about. Donatello's known for that technological.
Exactly.
Person
Yeah.
about, like,
Yeah.
even the first movie about the Donatello wasn't very technological. It's very like something between brothers between Michelangelo and Donatello himself. That's
Right.
very distracted.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, when you were growing up, which Turtles game did you play on the Game Boy?
The Game Boy about Back in the Sewer, Back to the Sewer.
Oh, Back to Sewer stuff. Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Game Boy type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even at Dr. Solo's office, my dentist, they have an arcade version based on a 1987 cartoon.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I grew up with the '87 cartoon.
Right. And so, how much time do we have left?
Well, so far we're about to reach 26 minutes in. We're at the 25 minute point. In a few seconds we'll be at 26 minutes in.
Yeah. After bursting from the building and engulfed in flames, Kurt Russell, eat your heart out.
Oh, there was a reference to Kurt Russell.
Yeah, from the Backdraft.
Right,
Backdraft,
right.
The firefighting movie.
Yeah. We're officially 26 minutes in, just to let you know how the runtime is so far. Okay, let's see. Any more quotes? Any things to talk about that you think the audience should know about Turtles 3?
Let's see, we're turtles. We're turtles, friend, of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Varieties.
That was a great quote.
Almost like they about the exact copy from the words of title of the series.
Yeah. Wait, what about it? Say it again.
Like eight movies about a few movies. Any franchise they could ever mention the title of the series, like Mission Impossible 2, about when Anthony Hopkins first mentioned the title of the film.
What does Anthony Hopkins say? How did the line go for that?
It was about Mission Impossible. Like it was.
I thought he said this isn't mission. This isn't mission difficult. This is Mission Impossible. Difficult should be in the walk of the park for you. But when does he actually say Mission Impossible 2? Like when does he?
It's the first time that one character mentioned the title of the series.
Oh well, isn't there a lot of movies where characters mention the title of the series?
Like in Star Trek First Contact, it's based on a TV show. One character was Zephyr Cochrane says, "You're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek."
Was that an '80s movie?
90s.
Oh, '90s. Okay, so there's got to be a number of '90s movies, I imagine, that have the title in it. I don't know which ones exactly. You might know better than me, but I'm sure there's got to be a number of '90s movies that had the title in it also. But yeah, Mission Impossible, man, that is my movie franchise right there.
That's all the. Okay, there must have been a battle. Casey Jones says, "I knew it. I'm missing all the fun."
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. They didn't get him. They didn't have him fight like the first movie. He was just being a babysitter. They didn't give Casey Jones enough to do.
Because even though sometimes I thought Casey, we don't know about it. Casey goes back in time. He doesn't meet his counterpart.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like that whole counterpart thing either. And then and then we're gonna be getting to the second movie in the next discussion. In the second movie is the only part of any part of the entire franchise or anything about the series where the young Asian guy is mentioned. Like, he's not in any other part of the whole comics or franchise after the second movie. But we'll get to him in the second movie. Yeah. What did you not like about Turtles 3? What did you like? What is your overall impression of?
I did like about the some kind of the resistance about how they. It's like something very too like Robin Hood type. The villain tried to overthrow the shogun.
Yeah.
It's like,
as far as the villains are concerned, I thought that the white British guy and then the older Asian guy, to me, they were boring villains, and the whole time travel, I thought they could have, like you said, maybe they could have done whatever your alien idea was instead with the alien story, I guess, or something. And if they would have done the alien story, then they could have brought Krang as the main villain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and there's also I did like about this the plot is very too weakening.
Yeah, it's a weak plot as far as all the plots are concerned. A weak plot.
But how about this? How did the ninjas are fighting against us about the guns? Like like it's sort of like you watch a Tom Cruise movie, The Last Samurai, about the end of a samurai, about becomes when the emperor would decide what to do with the Japanese army could do with guns, artillery.
I saw parts of The Last Samurai. That was a decent movie. Now you were saying which part of Turtles 3? What happened with guns again?
About the English tradesman could do with the trading with the weapons.
Oh yeah. I remember. I think I remember which scene you're talking about. And then the turtles, they put their head inside the shell so they wouldn't get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. That was a funny scene. That was an all right scene. Yeah. Any more we're 30 in, 30 minutes in, 30, just to let you know what runtime stuff is so far. Any more quotes that you think were noteworthy? Quotes from the movie? And
April, this is, I'm going to find the apartment. I have an idea. We're going to be here for a long time. An apartment? Do they have apartments in Japan? Do I look like a real estate agent? What about condos?
That I like how you delivered that line also. Yeah, what I like about this movie, even though I don't like a whole lot about it, that's just how much I don't like about it, is that I like they have the same home layer that they found for each other, for themselves in the second movie, while bringing Donatello's voice back from the first movie, Corey Feldman, like you said, and how they actually use their weapons more in this movie than they did in the second one. So, but overall, like you said, their costumes not being Jim Henson for both Turtles and Splinter, weak plot story, weak villains. The time travel stuff could have been a whole better type of story instead. I think it would have been too much to bring Shredder and the Foot Clan back, so I'm glad that wasn't done for the third movie. But overall, it was I was really disappointed when I saw this movie as a kid and as an adult. It's a lot of people's one of their disfavorites. Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie?
Not this movie.
Not so much either. Yeah.
Do you know what company what distributor it's made from?
Was it Golden Harvest?
Besides Golden Harvest, also a main distributor.
Oh, New Line Cinema.
Because that year,
yes.
That same year, they also has a very weak movie, one of Friday the 13th series called Jason Goes to Hell.
Right.
The Final Friday.
Oh, that's 9. Yeah, that's Friday the 13th Part 9 for the one you're describing there. Right. So the distributor is New Line Cinema. So New Line Cinema did that Friday the 13th 9. Then it did the 3 early 90s Turtle movies. And then they also did the Austin Powers movies and Lord of the Rings.
Mortal Kombat.
Also Mortal Kombat. Yeah, they did greenlight a Mortal Kombat 2 after the 2021 version. But yeah, New Line Cinema did all that kind of stuff. New Line Cinema did all those kind of different movies.
In the beginning of the 80s, the best known franchise in the 80s is The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that's right. Friday Part 9, and then like you said also with the Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't think they'll ever successfully bring back Nightmare on Elm Street back. Like that, nothing got better than that than the 84 movie original either. We're now officially 33 minutes in, so now that we're 30...
And also the greatest thing about the New Line Cinema in 2001, they made the highest grossing franchise.
Lord of the Rings, right? The Lord of the Rings was the early 2000s for that there. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But now that we're, that's true about all those New Line Cinema stuff. But now that we're 33 minutes in, and we both didn't care for this one as much as some of the other type Turtle movies that came out before and after it, what are your final thoughts and opinions on Turtles 393?
Don't think everything in time traveling is so dumb, except actually interesting about because we want to bring back the science fiction villains, like besides Shredder, like how about bring Krang or the Triceratops creature?
Yeah. Is that a dinosaur?
A dinosaur alien.
Dinosaur alien. Yeah, the dinosaur alien. That would have been a really great and interesting villain of your choice there. Yeah, for you, or both, or maybe they could do part dinosaur alien of what you're describing there, and part Krang. A little bit of both of that. That would have made a much better third movie, and I think both of our opinions there. So that's good final thoughts. How it should have been no time travel, but instead some kind of a alien dinosaur type way, which I think would have come out better than whatever they came out with here. And how would you grade or rate this one?
D.
Yeah, I would give it a D also. I'd give it a letter grade of a D. for damage, dangerous, destruction, nonsense.
Dumb, or dumb.
Yeah, or a D for dumb. That's good. D for dumb. All right. Yeah. So if you guys like this, discussion of Turtles 3 1993, don't forget to smash that like button. And we're gonna see you soon, hopefully, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze. Yes.
The Ooze is almost better.
What's that?
The Turtles 2 is almost better.
It's just a little bit better, but nothing surpassed for me the first movie. It's just a little tiny bit better, but not really by much. Everybody, it sounds like both Avi and I want to do Speed from '94, so I'm gonna try to find the right pictures for Speed. But we're just gonna have these three turtle movies to end off August before my trip in 2 weeks. So, thanks again, Avi, for coming on, and I hope to see you soon to talk with you Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool, awesome. And enjoy Hershey. Did you enjoy the beach?
I enjoyed the beach. They taught me how to do surfing.
Surfing. Surfing would have been great for the conversation on Turtles. But okay, nice.
Even I did not stand. I just lay belly flat on the boards.
Well, okay. Well, keep practicing the surfing. Keep practicing that. Cool. Very nice. So everybody, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. And we will see you in the Turtles 2 discussion next. All right. Cool. Awesome. See you next time, Avi. See you around. Everybody support your local movie theater throughout the decade of the 2030s. That's in 7 years from now. To see movies in a big communal stranger-like experience like no other, big screen and sound on movies you really want to see on the big silver screen. It's like no other moment of experience. Why? Because streaming online at home is just not the same thing at all. Streaming online at home is just not the same thing. Everybody dance and have a good time. Everybody dance and have a good time. This is friend and co-host Avi and Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC, signing out till Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.